7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
Have you been to Boswell's Furniture lately?
Yes, Boswell's has an expansive 2-story showroom filled with so many great choices for our living room, dining room, and bedroom.
Did you know that Boswell sells directly from their store inventory, so we wouldn't have to wait to get our new furniture?
Yes, plus Boswell's has free local delivery and complimentary design service to help us with the layout and fabric choices.
No waiting and amazing customer service. I mean, why would we go anywhere else?
Boswell's on Easy Street. It's closer than you think.
Come on out to Chelan County Fair.
I'm doing my best and I know I'm all over the road.
All your friends and neighbors will be there. There'll be cows, there'll be chickens, guitar picking, there'll be plenty of food to be shared. Come on out to Chelan County Fair. Come on out.
Oh, the things that go on behind the scenes here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We're back on this 16th day of August 2023. It's the day after Tuesday and the day before Thursday, so we call these Wednesdays. Do we have our little thing? We don't have our little thing. It's Winning Wednesday. I'll sing it. Having the time of your life. Winning Wednesday is back. Our good friends at D'Olivo at Pybus Public Market is part of our series of interviews, conversations with the merchants at the Pybus Public Market. We've been doing these since last spring. D'Olivo is olive oil, as you might imagine, but other cool stuff as well. And they have given us a $50 gift card to give away, possibly to you, if you enter anyway. You know what to do. You send me an email. winner@ncwlife.com. winner@ncwlife.com. That's how you enter. It's an email contest. Everybody has an email address, so we figured that's the way to do it. You know, there are some things that play into this. Employees of local telecommunications, solely on broadcasting, and their immediate families are not eligible. Sorry, KC. And 1 entry per email address. That's a big one. If you have more than one email address, you can enter more than one, so you can't enter continuously on the same email address. Yes, we keep track of things. And if you don't enter the contest, you don't win. You want to win a $50 gift card to D'Olivo in the Pybus Public Market? I got to talk with my good buddy Bruce Hausfeld. We'll have that interview for you. Send me your email, winner@ncwlife.com. In the back half of the program, Stage Kids opens up tonight at the Eastmont High School Auditorium, their production of Newsies Junior. We talked to the artistic director, Michelle McCormick, and a couple of the leads, Piper and Rowan. Piper, Rowan, and Michelle will be joining me in the back half of the program on a warm Wednesday morning. It is 81 degrees outside, and right out of the top, the excessive heat warning continues. That's going to continue until 11 o'clock tomorrow. We're 2 days into this heat wave, 2 more days to go before we finally cool down. Then that goes away and a fire weather watch goes into effect, and on top of all that, an air quality alert. High pressure is keeping the smoke and the bad air from getting out of here. We got some PTZ shots just going to make you go, yeah, that looks bad, especially up north. In fact, let's not waste any more time. Let's get into our cameras on this Winning Wednesday. That is our normal Wenatchee Heights camera. We just have it pointed pretty much due east down the Columbia towards Rock Island as the sun has risen above the bench. By the way, starting tomorrow, sunrise will be at 6 a.m. On the first day of summer, sunrise was at 5 a.m. Days are getting shorter. You can see a little bit of the haze, but wait till we show you the Billy Goat and Jump Off Ridge cameras in just a minute. First up to Cashmere we go, and the Hay Canyon camera. And you can see a little bit of that haze in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. Good morning to Cashmere. Always good to see you folks. One of my favorite little hamlets around here. The Billy Goat camera, take a look at this. Yikes. That's the Billy Goat camera. That's also pointed kind of southeast. Normally we have it pointed a little more to the north so we can see Pateros and Brewster. You can't see Pateros or Brewster even if we had it pointed towards Pateros and Brewster. That is some pretty dirty air. We're going to show you the latest slide from the Department of Ecology about where our air quality is. To the north of us, it is not very good. And check out this view from Jump Off. Look at that. Now, right now, the air quality in Wenatchee is good. The air monitoring station is at the intersection of 5th and Western in Wenatchee, and they put them at the surface because that's where people live, and that's where people breathe. Most people don't live at 4,000 or 5,000 feet in the air. They just don't. So it makes sense to put the air quality on the Earth's surface, those monitors. So you look at that and you go, that looks yucky. It actually isn't bad because you can see it's pretty clear down on the valley floor. 2 slides to show for you before we get into the weather forecast. Excessive heat continues. This goes all the way through until 11 o'clock on Thursday. We're going to be in the triple digits today. Now, yesterday we had 104. That's a new record, broke the old record of 101. That was set back in 1967 and again in 2021. OMAC got to 109 yesterday. That's a new record for OMAC. Alfreda had a record high of 104. Now, the record high for today, for August 16th, for the Wenatchee Valley is 103. That was set back in 1967. We're going to be above that today. So we are going to go for the 3rd day in a row of getting, well, tying or exceeding our record high temperature. Air quality, not particularly good in many locations, especially to the north of us. As you can see, the air quality is hazardous in OMAC, up in the Winthrop area, in the Twisp area. Also, Soap Lake is dealing with some dirty air down there. The yellow means unhealthy for sensitive groups. Green is good, but it is not particularly breathable air to the north of us. And some of that may seep down here because we do have an air quality alert from the Department of Ecology for all of Chelan and Okanagan counties. It's on now. It goes until 9 o'clock on Friday because by Thursday afternoon, that ridge of high pressure is going to start sliding out of position, going to start sliding to the south and the east, and that's going to allow some cooler and more active air to come in from the northwest from Vancouver Island. So 104 today. Again, the record high is 103, set back in 1967. I think we're going to get past. Now, it's already 81 degrees. That's warm. Not a lot of wind, so I have a feeling that if the fires in the general area get going pretty good in the heat, we could see some pretty bad air this afternoon. Clear tonight, well, outside of the smoke. Overnight low about 76. Tomorrow's forecast high 102. Record high on Thursday the 17th is 104. We'll be close to that, and then a big dramatic cool down. Now it's going to start getting windy on Thursday afternoon and Thursday night. That's why we have that fire weather watch that's been posted. I had a feeling this was going to come our way. Low relative humidity, strong winds, high temperatures. So we have that kicking in. That's going to kick in on Thursday afternoon. Thursday afternoon is going to be a real nail biter for those folks who fight wildfires because things could get dicey. And then comfortable and nice, a little breezy on Friday, but nothing we can't handle. And then a little bit of a warm up on by Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. But temperatures, this heat wave's about ready to end. We just have to deal with it for a couple of more days. 7 minutes after the hour, going to take a break, and then we'll have your headlines on this Wednesday. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
I had a seizure in the middle of the night, and they rushed me to the hospital and decided to induce labor to try to get the baby out. The outpouring of love and support I got from Confluence Health. My coworkers coming to the ICU to be with me. For me, it's the work family. It's just incredible to have support no matter what I'm going through in my personal life, my own health.
We're turning up the heat with the hottest deals of the year. Right now, during the hot summer clearance sale, only at Click It RV. #1 in sales and service. The best RV brands. Over 1,000 to choose from. And the best deals of the year on remaining 2023 model year-end clearance with incredible 30% off. Brand new RVs discounted up to 30%. Save thousands. Plus, no payments until 2024. During the hot summer clearance sale, now only at Click It RV. 5 Superstore locations. Hurry in today.
Hibis Public Market is on the move to make parking, dining, shopping, and events an even better experience for our community. Check out the progress that has already been made towards the revitalization. The Westside project is well on its way, but we need your help to get over the finish line. All donations are greatly appreciated and can be made online at our website or in person at the business office. We want to thank those who have already partnered with us. You are helping make the place we love a better place for our community to meet.
9 minutes after the hour, sunshine, but a little hazy. It's 81 degrees. We're going to set another record high temperature today. Close to it tomorrow. Winds pick up Thursday. Much cooler by the time we get to the weekend. It's 9 minutes after the hour. Friends and family are remembering the young victim of Saturday night's fatal shooting on South Mission Street. 15-year-old Tony Figueroa was killed by gunfire at about 11:30 Saturday night in the 600 block of South Mission. The suspects fled the scene. No arrests have been made. The Wenatchee Police Department has so far declined to comment about the case, saying it's an ongoing investigation. Those who knew Tony says he was headed into the 10th grade at Eastmont High School, a friendly and funny young man who excelled at soccer. We had a chance to speak to two adults who knew him well.
Tony was a stud. He was playing forward for me, goal scorer. Just had a drive. I mean, I used to call him the machine because he didn't stop. He just kept going, and any opportunity that he had, it was going in back of the net. Everybody looked up to him. He was our captain. We made it to nationals last year. Tony was, again, a huge piece to all that. He's a kid that never looked down on anybody. If you were down, he'd pick you up. If you needed a shirt, he would take his off. He would give it to you. I mean, he's literally he's just what you want in a leader.
He was just always really great about coming in, saying hi. I would probably guesstimate that he would just pop into my office, I don't know, at least 1 to 2 times a week, just to kind of fill me in on what was going on with his life and say hi. He was a great kid. Every single adult I spoke to, that was one of the first things that came out of their mouth after commenting on his smile was how respectful he is. Doesn't matter. It didn't matter if he was in trouble. It didn't matter if it was a good day, it was a bad day. He was always respectful. He was always kind. He was highly respected by his peers. He was respected by staff. And that stuff, especially in junior high, that's a big deal. You're hard-pressed to find that at junior high at that level of consistency. And that should be known. This event does not define who he is. His day-to-day when nobody else is around, and I mean, that's the stuff that defines who he is.
The Chelan County Corrections officer who was tragically killed in a motorcycle accident 1 week ago was laid to rest yesterday after a funeral procession from Wenatchee to East Wenatchee. 23-year-old Jesus Olivero was interned at Evergreen Cemetery after services at St. Joseph's Catholic Church. His procession, joined by local police, firefighters, and emergency workers as a mark of respect. Olivero was fatally injured in that motorcycle wreck last Wednesday on Chihuahua Loop Road between Lake Wenatchee and Fish Lake. A bat found in Chelan County has tested positive for rabies, and that's according to the Chelan Douglas Health District, and they say they were informed by the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society of a pet-only exposure. That's when Animal Care and Control retrieved the bat from a Chelan County residence on August 8th. Animal Control made the decision to euthanize the bat, then they submitted it to the Oregon Veterinary Diagnostic Laboratory for testing, and it was confirmed that it was positive for rabies. The health district says nobody, no people anyway, are known to have been exposed at this time, and they remind residents that anybody who is in contact with a rabid bat should seek medical attention immediately, and to also contact your local health jurisdiction if your pet has had direct contact with a rabid bat. The last rabid bat was found in our area in July of 2021. Well, it's day 2 of the Grant County Fair in Moses Lake. Head on out. They got entertainment, education, livestock events right through the close of the fair on Saturday night. I had a chance to go to Moses Lake last week, and I talked to the fair director, Jim McKiernan, and we had some fun.
The Moses Lake Roundup Rodeo Association puts on the Demo Derby Tuesday and Wednesday of Fair Week, which it packs the stands Farmers come out of the woodwork to bash their old cars together. And I think they do small cars one night and then they do the larger cars, which are getting harder to find. I mean, it's hard to find an old, 1970s four-door Impala. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they'll do the PRCA rodeo. And it's always a good time. They have a beer garden and do live music and stuff in the rodeo grounds at night. So it's a blast too.
2 tips, good pair of shoes, and lots of water. Going to be hot in Moses Lake right into the weekend. That's the news at 14 minutes after the hour. We'll have a newscast for you as we endeavor to do every Monday through Friday at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on TV. The NCW Life Evening News, 5, 6, and 10. You can also watch it on the World Wide Web at right around 5 o'clock. That's when we get it posted on our Facebook page or YouTube page and on our homepage. And if there's something out there that you think we need to know about, let us know about it so we know about it. Send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. Mariners blew a huge lead, but they pulled it out in the end. They beat Kansas City in a wild one. Highlights is next. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here.
Oh.
I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
This summer, Abby's Legendary Pizza is helping stretch your hard-earned money. Our giant pizza is loaded with so many toppings that it usually feeds 4 to 6 people. Plus, join our E-Club for special discounts for our favorite customers. At Abby's, we treat you like family. Abby's knows what our customers like, and it's not pear and arugula. That's why we're offering a special price on this pizza loaded with 2 of your favorite meat toppings, Canadian bacon and beef. And if you want, we'll add some delicious fresh summer tomatoes too. Order now at abbys.com.
"16 minutes after the hour, blowing a 7-run lead is a hard thing to do, but the Mariners held on. They won in extra innings again. Boy, they played a lot of extra inning games. In fact, they played 3 extra inning games in the last 4 days. These guys are tired. They jumped out to a 7-0 lead with 4 home runs in the 4th inning.
Now this is smoked out to left field. If this stays fair, it's gone. It's plenty fair. And Gino has given the Mariners a 1-0 lead. Stuffed his sleeves with seeds. Oh, France. This might get over the foul pole. It's fair. That was an absolute moonshot. Did that clear the foul pole? If it didn't, it came close.
I believe it did. It was a titanic blast. My goodness. Let it go tie.
Well, this is out to the gap in right center field. And this ball clears the wall. Teoscar with a laser to right field. The Mariners have homered 3 times in the last 4 batters. Infield in, ground ball tiptoeing fair over the bag. Canzone scores. Caballero, he's got himself an RBI double. He stands up at second base. So the Mariners having a big 4th inning. Rojas scalds this into right field. This is gone. Number 1 for Josh Rojas as a Mariner. And his first this year. That was annihilated. It's the 4th home run by the Mariners in the 4th inning. It's 7-0.
Grounded left side and through. 1 run is home. And now Beatty hits the brakes. It looked like he was waved home and may have made contact with third base coach Vance Wilson. And I think that's what the Mariners are going to argue here.
Beatty, you can't touch the runner.
Deep left center field. 2-run game. Just like that. career high in pitches for Munoz. Line drive, center field. It's a one-run game. Massey has 3 hits. And Salvi gets it over shortstop. Here comes Junior. And Blanco is going to be out at third without a slide. But the run will score. Home plate umpire DJ Rayburn confirmed the run scores, but Dyrone Blanco slowed down and didn't slide into third base.
Oh, come on, really? Up the middle, and it's into center field. Marlowe is in to score. Caballero, he rushes home, and he scores standing. Ty France with 2 outs in the top of the 10th. A go-ahead 2-run base hit, and it's 10-8 Mariners. The 0-1. Ground ball to Caballero. On to first base, and the Mariners, if you can believe it, they take this one, they hold on, they win it in 10-8 the final score. Well, it felt like a bad ride at Worlds of Fun for a while here.
Manager Scott Servais said that big rally that the Royals had in the 5th inning might not have happened if the umpires had actually saw the fact that the third base coach touched the base runner.
You know, Teo was on it all night. Ty had a great night, huge hit. You know, when all the momentum had switched back to them, and it looked like, you know, we're on our last leg there, he steps up to the plate and a huge hit. That's Ty France, and he's been going really good the last couple of weeks. We needed every hit tonight, every home run, and none bigger than the final one. Third base coach did touch the runner. He should have been called out. You can't challenge the play. It's a judgment called by the umpire. They didn't see it. If they don't see it, they're not going to call it. But he clearly touched the runner. I think almost their hands almost hit. I didn't see the replay of it, but you could see it from where I was standing, and would have been a huge out in the game, obviously. But there was a lot of things that happened in this game other than that dictated it going into 10 innings. But we didn't catch pop-up. First of all, again, we opened the door. And when you open a door against a young team like this, they just keep after it. They keep swinging. But I thought Emerson was effective. You know, he got after it, was very aggressive with his fastball and secondary pitches. A little inconsistent, but you look up, there's 4 shutout innings. You feel good about heading him. We're up 7-0. I'm thinking, okay, we can maybe get 6 innings out of Emerson tonight. And then, you know, obviously the 5th inning got away from us. You know, with the big grand slam there to get them back into the game. But it all started with a drop, you know, pop-up that fell in, just like the 9th inning. You know, starts with an error, and you open the door, and they took advantage.
Teoscar Hernandez had his very first 5-hit game in his career. It's the Mariners and the Royals tonight, 5-10, third of a 4-game series on Root Sports Northwest. To the scoreboard we go. Let's see, Houston beat Miami. The Astros remaining 2 games in front of Seattle. In the wild card race, St. Louis had no problems against Oakland. Nobody does. Cardinals over the Athletics 6-2, and Corey Seager homered twice and drove in 5 runs for Texas as the Rangers beat the Angels 7-3. You probably heard about this, the sudden death of former Seahawk Alex Collins. He was killed in a motorcycle accident near Lauderdale Lakes in Florida Sunday night. He crashed his motorcycle into an SUV. Coach Pete Carroll says the former 5th-round draft choice of the Seahawks will be missed.
It's just heart-crushing loss for Alex Collins to be gone. He was a beautiful kid and a wonderful competitor and all that, but really it's the person that we'll miss the most. He had a great spirit about him, and he was fun as heck, and it's just so unfortunate for his family and for all of us and to have lost him. So I wish there was something we can do. We can't do anything, but it's a heartbreaker.
Collins also played for the Ravens, and most recently he was a member of the Memphis Showboats of the USFL. In the meantime, they're still getting ready. They got the Cowboys in another game that doesn't count this weekend. Coach Pete Carroll happy to see Jordan Brooks back at practice. Of course, he's recovering from knee surgery.
Jordan got out to walk through today, and which is a really big step. And now he's back in there, so he can practice now. When the time is right, we'll get him out there. We're not going to rush it at all. But we wanted to get him back because he's capable of doing the walk-through tempo stuff, and that's 40 minutes of work, running the defense and all that. So it's a real boost to him to get his learning up and the communications and all that kind of stuff, and just for us to see him back out there and get accustomed to him being to start his return. It's going to be a while still, but that's a great sign, and he's going to make it back. He's going to be okay.
Hawks and Cowboys Saturday night, 7 o'clock, King 5 at Lumen Field. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. On this 16th day of August, the obscure holiday, National Roller Coaster Day. And I love them. I love a good roller coaster. I just get into it. I don't know. I just do. They're fun. Fun facts about roller coasters. The tallest roller coaster in the world is King Ka. That's at Six Flags Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey, just across the Hudson from New York City. The fastest roller coaster is it's the Formula Rossa. It goes from 0 to 149 miles an hour in 5 seconds. That's some G-forces. But the longest roller coaster in the world is that one that you see there. It's Steel Dragon 2000. It's been open since 2000. It's in Japan. It's 1.5 miles long. It takes 4 minutes to ride it from beginning to end. That looks like fun. Happy National Roller Coaster Day today. I love a roller coaster. I haven't been on one in years. I should get back on that. 24 minutes after the hour. Today in history, Skookum, Jim Mason, George Carmack, and Dawson Charlie. Gee, what do you think they do? Yeah, they were gold prospectors. They discovered gold in a tributary of the Klondike River in Canada, right near the Canadian-Alaska border, on this date in 1896. Tried to keep it a secret. Didn't keep it a secret. The following year, the news reached the west coast of the United States, specifically Seattle and San Francisco, and there they go. About 100,000 prospectors worked their way up to the Klondike to stake their claim and get their fortune. About 90% of them got squat. About 10% of them actually got very wealthy. The other 90% didn't get squat. But the Klondike Gold Rush, they found the gold on this date 127 years ago in 1896. But when that happens, word gets out pretty quick. 2 baseball notes, because baseball is my game. On this date, August 16th, 1920, Ray Chapman of the Cleveland Indians is struck in the side of the head by a fastball thrown by Yankee Carl Mays. He would die the next day. Carl Mays was blamed for it. It wasn't really his fault, but he was also not a particularly agreeable man. He had a nasty disposition, so they just blamed it on Carl Mays. It wasn't his fault, but it changed the rules of baseball. A nice, shiny, white new baseball would be substituted when the old one got dirty so they could see it. Happened on this date 103 years ago. This is the 75th anniversary of the passing of the greatest baseball player of all time, Babe Ruth. Dies in a New York City hospital of throat cancer at the age of 53. He would lie in state at Yankee Stadium. Approximately 100,000 people would view his body in the open casket. Babe Ruth dies 75 years ago today. And Elvis Presley died on this date in 1977. The king of rock and roll dies in his bathroom at his mansion, Graceland. Here is the NBC Nightly News, August 16th, 1977.
Good evening. Elvis Presley died today. He was 42. Apparently it was a heart attack. He was found at his home in Memphis, not breathing. His road manager tried to revive him. He failed. A hospital tried to revive him. It failed. His doctor pronounced him dead at 3 o'clock this afternoon. The end at an early age of one of the 2 most spectacular careers in the history of American entertainment, the other being Frank Sinatra's.
Today should be excess day. It should be a national holiday where you overindulge in things simply because Babe Ruth and Elvis Presley overindulged in things, and they both died on the same date. And we do birthdays, the greatest jazz pianist of them all. There are a lot of great ones, but Bill Evans stands out, not only his solo work, but his work with all of the jazz greats from the late 40s until his death in 1980 at the age of 51, the legendary Bill Evans. So it's a Sunday morning thing for me. Sunday morning, coffee, newspaper, Bill Evans. Does a soul good. James Cameron is 69 years old today, the Terminator. Aliens, Terminator 2, the Avatar series, Titanic. James Cameron is 69 years old. He spent most of the early 70s, as he said, readily admitted, he was just drifted from job to job, and he spent most of his free time smoking pot, drinking beer, and dropping acid. And then one day in 1977, he and his buddies went to go see Star Wars, and James Cameron said, I think I know what I want to do with my life. I want to get into the movies. And he did. He is 69 years old today. Happy birthday, Madonna. She qualifies for Social Security now. She's 65. Of course, she lives in England. I don't know if she actually gets it or not. Madonna, highly underrated, 65 years old today. And happy 61st to Steve Carell. That's what she said. 28 minutes after the hour, still to come an opinion from my Mad Dog Minotti. We're going to talk about the Stage Kids productions of Newsies Junior. It opens tonight at the Eastmont High School Auditorium. That's a great conversation. Don't miss that. But first things first, it's Winning Wednesday, and we got a $50 gift card from D'Olivo. D'Olivo sells top-notch, can't find anywhere olive oil and other cool stuff at the Pybus Public Market, but don't take my word for it. Here's me and Bruce. Imagine my surprise when I get the email about what we're going to talk about here at Bruce Hosfeld's business at the Pybus Public Market. And I went, it's Bruce Hosfeld. I've known this guy. Forever. I've known this guy for 40-some odd years. I've known him so long that first time we met, Elvis was still dead. That's how long I've known Bruce Hosfeld. Your unbelievable organization here. As again, we continue to profile the Pybus Public Market stuff. I knew Bruce as a firefighter. And you retired in 2015, but how did you stumble into this? This is a whole new thing for me. I had no idea this about you, Bruce.
This is what's funny. It's a true story. 30 years in the fire department. I was a honey mustard and ranch guy. Seriously, olive oil was just something so it didn't stick in the pan. I was on vacation, getting a bumper made for my truck instead of shipping it out here. And so I went from that. While they were installing it, I went into a place similar and fell in love with it. And I said, man, that tastes great. I'll use that, and did. And Pybus was just getting going, and it just kind of clicked that, hey, we should do that here. So I went from just, it tasted good, to, well, you know, as we'll talk about, I put olive oil seriously on every single thing I eat, from my oatmeal, cereal, coffee.
Because?
Of the health benefits. And that's where you really, I've kind of learned, I didn't realize in the beginning, I thought olive oil was all the same. Started going to chemistry class at UC Davis. So olive oil is calories, so it's not a medicine. They're full of antioxidants, but that can be anywhere from 0 up to 1,000, and we measure those in parts per million, which is very high. And you don't know what you're getting until someone's actually testing it. So we have a lab out of Australia, a world-renowned lab, that tests our olive oil for its, one of the things, antioxidant level, which preserves the oil, but also it's good for you. So you need to know what you're getting, and one of those compounds, which is really important, is called oleocanthal, and I really suggest people look that up for themselves. It has the same anti-inflammatory properties as ibuprofen. So when the FDA comes out and says, hey, we should get 2 tablespoons of olive oil in your diet a day, but 2 tablespoons of what? One with 5 parts per million or one with 1,000 parts? So I personally, when I buy our oil, I look for very high oleocanthal level olive oils. They're not made the same.
Where do you get your oil? Because you got oil from all over the planet here.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Some people think it's got to be from Greece or Spain or Italy, you know, to have the best. We source oils depending on the seasons. So instead of carrying oil from Spain year-round, we follow from the northern hemisphere to southern hemisphere, because 2 different seasons, and then we follow the countries. So we get them from all over the world, and that switches every 6 months here. But the most important thing at the time of harvest, Modern Olive Lab is testing the oil, and it has to meet a much higher standard than what extra virgin olive oil is. And it's actually called an ultra premium level. It's not just a name, it's actually a standard.
So when we go to the store, and just because the recipe on the list it calls for extra virgin olive oil, and I don't have any in the cupboard, you're kind of being sold a little bit of a bill of goods. It sure sounds good, but it's not really.
You just don't know what's in it, and nobody importing olive oil in the United States, nobody is testing it. That's why Star and Bartoli were sued several years ago for called adulterated olive oil. There are growers in California, and sometimes you'll see stuff online where somebody's actually showing you an antioxidant level called biophenols. We have about 40 different compounds that we test for, and we can show you that when you come in. So it's hard to know what you're getting unless somebody's testing it.
This is one crazy success story. 10 years ago, I mean, what the hell? Let's take a run at it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, all because you were getting your truck fixed.
Yeah.
And now you have this. Did you think Wenatchee, the Wenatchee Valley, North Central Washington, was going to be accepting to a store that sells olive oil?
Honestly, I really thought it was going to be just a little small side thing. I was actually kind of looking at numbers, thinking, you know, if you sell 20 bucks, I mean, such small numbers, and then learning what the difference in what was out there, and getting our supplier is called Veronica Foods, the Italian family that travels around the world. opened my eyes to all this, and so now we've really educated, I believe, a good majority of our customers of what to look for, not just here, but anywhere. And to get that in your diet, our staff, we talk all the time and train on chemistry and health benefits. Hundreds and thousands of empirical studies on oleocanthal and what it can do for your body.
Well, proof right now is there's about 15 people in your place, and it's only about 500 square feet. So yeah, people understand and people get it. Don't
They really do. And people are into health these days.
Yeah.
And people are aware. There's 2 different studies, one on 60 Minutes, one UC Davis, probably 15 years ago. Took everything off the shelves in the store and did a chemistry test. About 77% of those oils tested failed to be extra virgin olive oil, even though it said that on the label.
For you Bloody Mary aficionados, and I count myself as one of them, nothing wrong with Mr. and Mrs. T's and the other stuff that you see at the stores. The real deal is right here, isn't it?
It is. Another funny story. In Milwaukee, they've got a public market, much like Pybus. In the back, there's a little tiki bar. Had an amazing Bloody Mary, and I'm not a Bloody Mary fan. And so met the owner, and he's actually an accountant by day, Bloody Mary mix by night, and we import it here. And only place you're gonna find it in the Northwest.
It's a little on the pricey side, but who cares? It's good.
It is amazing.
It's amazing. So you started out with olive oil, and now you got all kinds of. What else? What other products have you brought in over the last decade?
My wife and I have been we go to food shows, which is fantastic, and just keep trying new products. One of the things we found, which again I thought soy sauce was all the same. We have a whiskey barrel-aged shoyu soy sauce that will just blow you away. I thought soy sauce was just a salty flavor. No, it's got flavor. We've got a Whistle Pig Vermont maple syrup, Asian whiskey barrels, along with a lot of other flavors. Tahina sauce, harissa, an Argentina chimichurri sauce. We've got hundreds of gourmet food items, and we just keep trying new products. If we like them, we keep them and go from there.
The Epicureans in this town have found this place, haven't they?
Yes. You know what? We get people come in that do like charcuterie competitions. So one week, one family does this and they come in and they buy different things, and the next week somebody else does it and they try to outdo each other. One of the things we chop up is we have bacon jerky. Chop that up in pasta, all kinds of ideas.
Bruce Hosfeld, it's so good to see you.
Yeah.
This is so, you could have just retired.
Could have just retired and keep busy, always busy.
Yeah,
hey, one thing I did want to mention to you though.
While we have time, go for it.
Got the kids in Pybus. There's not a lot for kids here, so we started carrying some really interesting candies. Besides chocolate, we have so much candies. One of the things like that we just started getting in is freeze-dried, seasoned tarantulas, edible. I kid you not.
The kids are buying it.
Kids like it. I haven't tried one yet personally, but cotton candy that you just can't get anywhere. I've got a lady in Spokane that makes cotton candy for us. There's El Gordo's. We just got all kinds of unique products. Chocolate-covered bacon. So, great place for kids now too.
Bruce, I don't want to mispronounce the name of your business. It's pronounced
Di Olivo.
Thank you, because I've been butchering that.
I know.
A little tough.
I do too.
It's good to see you, my friend. And
yes,
by the way, you look great. That's all that olive oil.
Okay, I honestly can say I probably get a third a cup in my diet a day. I put it on every single thing I eat because I want the healthy antioxidants from that olive oil.
Yeah, why buy something processed when you can have the real deal?
And if you come into our staff, we can tell you a lot, talk to our staff, we can tell you a lot more about
These folks are knowledgeable. They know, if they didn't know what they were doing, they wouldn't work for Bruce. I can guarantee you that. We'll be right back.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At ColdwellBanker.com.
This is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, nothing I like better than some white person telling me that I'm a racist, okay? I once had a friend tell me who the only reason I didn't like President Obama was because he was black. Now, I knew there was no way I could explain to this person the reading I've done, the painful soul-searching I've gone through to try to recognize, admit, and address my prejudices. Soul-searching I still go through, honestly. I know this person wouldn't listen because I realize how much it is easier to point out someone else's perceived shortcomings than deal with your own. So what I said was the only thing I thought of at the time was that, well, I don't like Joe Biden either. This is Mike Mad Dog McNutty.
We choose truth over facts.
And that's my opinion.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you're calling on 35 plus years of experience in the Wenatchee Valley. Spending extra time in your home, you may have discovered an unwanted aroma. Stinky feet, pets, who knows what. Call Dick's today about installing their Train Clean Effects electronic air cleaner or a Rheem Halo ultraviolet air purifier. Either way, the air quality in your home will be improved. Proudly servicing all of North Central Washington, call 884-6444 today.
Welcome back to the program. Opening night is today. It is Wednesday. Head to the Eastmont High School auditorium and check out this year's summer production from our good friends at Stage Kids Washington. It is Newsies Junior, courtesy of our friends at Disney. Disney is a registered trademark of the Disney Corporation, so I won't get in trouble. Michelle McCormick is the artistic director. She's joining us here. Listen to the crowd. Studio audience there. Two-part interview. We got a couple of cast members from Newsies going to join us first. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Stage Kids 101. You started it, right?
I did. I actually started it in 2010 in San Jose, California.
Okay.
And then launched up here when I moved up here in 2014.
So what is Stage Kids 101? What is it?
Stage Kids 101, like our entry.
Yeah, just give me a brief description of what this organization's all about.
So our mission is to teach life skills through musical theater. And so we want our kids to go away having stronger confidence, responsibility, teamwork, a lot of those life skills that we want in all our young people. And we've just found that musical theater is a great way to do that and to develop skills. So we offer year-round classes, camps, and shows, productions from kindergarten through 18. So very good. Pretty good summary, I think, of what we do year-round.
And you learn theater lingo, right? You understand when you give a direction, you know what they mean, right? Because there's theater lingo that most people don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I hope that I know it,
right.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's important.
It is, and we start our kids in an entry level, starting at third. Our core program is 3rd through 8th grade. And at 3rd grade, or any grade actually, they can jump into our Intro to Theater class. And so it's an 8-week class. They learn theater lingo, the parts of the stage, so that when they participate in shows, they actually feel like, okay, I know everything that everyone else does. They don't feel behind, and can understand what the director's saying when they say move stage right, or things like that.
What's it like directing 7-year-olds? That must be fun.
It is fun. It's a different kind of fun.
Okay.
It's extremely draining, but it is a different kind of fun. We do some summer shows with the younger kids to prep them so that by the time they get to 3rd grade, they kind of have some experience and confidence jumping into our, what we call spotlight performances. So,
how many of your kids have graduated, so to speak, to more elaborate productions that maybe music theater would put on around Apple Blossom or some of the great high school musicals that Cynthia Brown does in East Wenatchee and Paul and Kelly do in Wenatchee? Do they kind of work their way up the ladder, so to speak?
A lot of them. A lot of our kids do continue in musical theater in high school. Some of them are involved in Leavenworth Summer Theater as well. And it's exciting now to see some of them even graduating and continuing into either music or the arts in college, because they've discovered a love that they didn't realize they had.
My guess is Cynthia and Paul and Kelly are pretty happy about that. When you
I sure hope so.
When you bring in somebody who knows what they're supposed to be doing, understand how to take direction and memorize lines, and this is your mark and that kind of stuff. They don't have to start from scratch when you have seasoned pros, even if they're teenagers.
I agree. I hope so. And that those kids, it's exciting to go to those shows, musical theater, as well as the high schools, which I go to all of those, and see a lot of the kids I'm familiar with is still involved.
That must be rewarding.
It is rewarding.
Yeah.
It is exciting.
It is. Talk about Newsies. This is Newsies Junior. What's the difference between Newsies that Apple Blossom put on 5 years ago and Newsies Junior?
So Music Theater International is a publisher in New York, and they take a lot of those Broadway shows and they condense them down into 75 to 90-minute shows instead of over 2 hours. Most of the time they cut ballads. They actually cut the right things, because since we have a lot of kids coming to our shows, those slow moments, those tend to lose interest, and so they really do, and they trim some of the songs down. Instead of 3 verses, maybe there's 2 verses, that kind of thing. But the plot is still there, all the incredible dancing, singing, musical numbers that we all know and love. So, and
Newsies seems a natural fit because I think most people are familiar with it. The movie came out 30 years ago, and there's a lot of kids in it. It's about news kids who sell newspapers on the streets of Manhattan and Brooklyn and the Bronx, and so it's a kid-centric show. It is. It's based on the 1899 strike that actually happened with the Newsies went on strike against Pulitzer, and so in a few minutes, maybe some of the teens can tell you more about that aspect, but it is based on some of real characters, real people that actually were part of that history as well. And then it brought into not just the Newsies, but to all of the working children in New York, the kids that were in sweatshops and so on, that were able to get more fair conditions and pay for what they were doing. You call yourself the artistic director as opposed to just director. Is that what's the difference there? Right. So artistic director for Stage Kids. So I choose the seasons, hire staff, choose class topics and things like that. But I also get the privilege of directing the shows that I'd like to each year. And so Stage Teens has been one of my passions. I love it. I don't want to give that one up because I really enjoy working with the teens and those kids that some of them I've seen grown up since they were 3rd, 4th grade, and now they're, 17, 18 years old. So it's really a fun summer for me to work with the teens. But the artistic director, chooses the seasons and creates the core program for the organization. Are you ready for tonight, for Wednesday night? Oh, I'm so excited. You good to go? Yes, so excited. Yeah. These guys, so every year the kids, they're cast in June before school is out. They are expected to memorize their lines, know their music, and we even have some of our dances pre-recorded that they need to learn. So when they show up at the beginning of August, they are already off book, which means all their lines are memorized, and they are ready to start putting the show together. And I will say this year, these teens were more prepared than any other summer we've ever had. They showed up, even our first music rehearsal, we called it early because there was no more to work on. They were ready to go. So it's just really been fun because they are all there because they want to be there. They're committing 3 weeks of their summer before they go back to school to this, and they're just hardworking, and it's fun because they enjoy it, so it makes it that much more fun for me too. One last question, we'll cut you loose and we'll bring in Piper and Rowan, who play a couple of the leads. Two casts. So talk about that. You have 2 completely different casts who will do, there's cast A and cast B that do the shows. Is that so everybody gets to be on stage and have their moment? Right. Or is it's more of like an energy conservation kind of a thing? No, actually, the majority of the cast is in both casts and playing the same roles. So it's not 2 completely different casts. It's double cast with all the leads and the primary roles to give more opportunities for the kids to play leads, but also in the event we have someone get sick or something like that, we always have an understudy. You have a built-in understudy. It's right there. Yeah. So the show must go on. And so that is the difference in those double casts is primarily the leads. Cool. It opens tonight, 1 show tonight, 1 show Thursday, 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. Tell me about Piper and Rowan before I bring them on. What do I need to know? They're professionals. Okay. They're pros. They really are. Okay. Because I'm going to ask them about you.
Okay, that's fair. It's amazing working with these guys. So I have known Piper since she was in 2nd grade, when she first started Stage Kids. And so I've seen her grow and develop into this incredible performer, confident, which you'll see in a moment, and articulate, and is going away now to a school for the arts during the school year. And Rowan is raised in a musical theater and just a theater family, I should say. And so you may know the Kapler name from other shows in the area. And he's just a pro. He walked in, he's playing 2 roles. So he is double cast, but he's playing 2 different leads, which is actually really tricky because every show he has to shift between those 2 characters, and they're totally different. And so just to watch him and to work with him has been amazing. He has such respect and asks about various choices he makes, and it's been fun to work with him. Absolutely fun.
Well, we're going to get to meet Piper and Rowan when we come back. And tickets, by the way, I just Googled Stage Kids Washington, popped right up. It's right there. It's the only site that he takes you to. You'll see the tickets icon in the upper right-hand corner, and you're good to go. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, 2 of the leads for Newsies Junior.
Don't miss it.
Don't miss it. That's coming up. And by the way, Disney is a registered trademark of the Walt Disney Corporation, and we'll be back.
Hey, hon, would you run this around to the wash rack?
Oh, okay.
Hey, hon, what happened?
They shrunk the truck.
The all-new midsize Canyon is now available at Sangster Motors.
Welcome back to the program. When I interview theater folk, I might as well interview theater folk. Nothing against Michelle, she's wonderful, but now we have 2 of the cast members of Newsies Junior. And once again, Disney is a registered trademark of the Walt Disney Corporation, all rights reserved. Piper and Rowan, introduce yourself to our television family. Ladies first.
Hi, I'm Piper Lodato. I play Catherine in Newsies Junior, trademark Disney.
Hi, I'm Rowan Kapler, and I play both Jack Kelly and Joseph Pulitzer in Newsies Junior.
First things first, what's Michelle like? Give me the real dirt now.
Well, can I go first?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
I've been working with Michelle for most of my life, and she's just the best. I love her so much, just as a person and also as a director. She knows when to be serious, she knows when to get stuff done, but she's also very helpful and merciful when she does do directing, so it's a love. I love working with her.
Same question, Rowan, what's Michelle like?
Well, this being my first time that I've ever actually worked with Michelle as a director, she definitely knows her stuff. I'm actually thoroughly impressed by the amount of preparation and just other kind of work that's been put in, not just by her, but by everybody else, but especially her, just being able to convey the vision and being able to work on a more professional level is really nice.
This may be the first interview I've ever done where I get diabetes right on the show, all the sweet talk about Michelle. You guys both theater folk from as long as you can remember, going back, that looks like fun kind of thing?
Yeah, pretty much.
What was the epiphany for you? Did you go to a show and you went, I want to do that?
Well, it's funny because I tried the sports thing, and the sports thing wasn't my thing. It wasn't my jam. And so I think my first show, well, that was in school, but the first actual show that I did was for LST. I was Gretel in The Sound of Music way back when. And that was the moment when I was kind of like, I kind of like this more than soccer, so I'm just going to keep doing this, and then here I ended up.
Same question. Did you have an epiphany moment when you said, I think I want to be on stage and do that?
Yeah, I had been in 1 or 2 school plays before, but my epiphany moment, I think, was when my dad was directing a play called Our Town. It was a long while ago, but he asked me hey, do you maybe want to come on as, ironically, a paperboy? And I initially said no, but then the more I thought about it, I'm like, there's a few people that I know, and so I'm like, why not? I'll give it a shot, and I've just been doing it ever since.
And you like it, obviously.
Oh yes, no, I absolutely love it. I just being able to be on stage and actually just get into a character and just kind of just almost get lost in it sometimes. It's interesting.
What kind of skill sets have you gotten from being in Stage Kids and just being in theater? So we can give Michelle some love and get some folks signing up for it, even though it's a waiting list. What did you get out of it, Piper? Just are you a more well-rounded person because you can have the confidence and the chutzpah to go up on stage with lights and act?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is I learned how to problem solve, because in theater it's the saying, the show must go on, so you have to learn how to be competent, and I think that that's the biggest thing that I've come away from theater having, is being able to look at a problem and not just looking at it, and being able to go and actually solve it and figure out how we're going to fix things, because in theater a lot of stuff goes wrong most of the time. So it's really, for me, that's one of the biggest things that I'm grateful for, is having such a well-rounded ability to take care of problems.
Okay, well, let's problem solve. Johnny's mom sends Johnny. No, I'm sorry. Same question for you. What skill set are you taking out from being on stage in theater?
I definitely say the public speaking.
Yeah.
For, like you said, actually just building the confidence to step out on stage and be able to deliver a performance in front of, well, who knows how many people, depending on what you're doing. And also just it helps with focus. Like, we do a lot of exercises before rehearsals that improve focus, memory, and also just build general camaraderie with each other. And it's really nice.
Yeah, it is.
I did not know a lot of people's names coming into it, but yeah, now I do.
Learning people's names is easy, Bob. It really is. I don't know what the deal is with it. I have interviewed a lot of kids who get into acting and thespian activities throughout the years, and I've noticed that some of the kids, you look at them just when you're talking to me, and then they go on stage and they're entirely different people. There's something about that that's just the light goes on. It amazes me. They're wallflowers until the lights come on, and then all of a sudden they're like a whole different person.
Yeah, I think that theater's really amazing how it can do that to a person. It gives you, for me, when I'm on stage, it's the only feeling I have where I feel completely free, and I got that high one time in LST, and I've been chasing it ever since. So I
take
really
LSD
amazing.
every day. And gets me through that. You get a unique thing. You get to play the hero and the heavy in this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
The very interesting experience. I actually initially went in wanting to be Pulitzer, and then as the audition process went on, I'm just like, you know what? I'm fine with anything, and I was going into it, but I'm just like, you know what? I really have no qualms no matter what I get. Look at the cast list, like, oh, I have both, and I've never done that before. I've never been double cast in that manner, but it's been a challenge, but it's been really fun. I'm glad that I get to do that, because it's just the experimenting with like different voices sometimes, and also just constructing different mannerisms and characters. I'm really glad to have had this experience.
My advice to you at 6:25 tonight, go to the bathroom, because you're not going to have any chance to do that.
Fair point, yes.
Heads up on that. In fact, I'll leave you with this, and I'll ask you this first, Piper, ladies first. Opening night is tonight at 6:30 is when the curtain rises and the show begins. What are you doing at 6:27?
6:27.
Right before the curtain comes up. What are you doing?
I'm backstage, and I'm probably getting a drink of water, and I am whispering to my castmates, because you can't talk backstage, so I'm whispering. I'm saying break a leg to everyone, and just holding hands, squeezing hands, getting ready to go on and just have a good show.
Same question.
Pretty much the same thing, but to add on to that, I'm basically praying to God that nothing super goes wrong.
Yeah, which usually happens.
It's live theater. I mean, Michelle can't stop in the middle of the show and say, no, we got to do the number again, or you missed the mark. It doesn't work that way. It is Newsies Junior, courtesy of Disney, which is a registered mark of the Walt Disney Corporation. All rights reserved. Break a leg and have fun.
Thank you.
Stage Kids Washington. Google it. Tickets are right there. And we'll be right back.
Whether you're just dipping your feet or plunging right in, boating with a Sylvan pontoon boat is the way to go at Bob File Boats and Motors. Sylvan pontoon boats offer performance, reliability, and stability to take you, your family, and friends to the water in style. Sylvan pontoon boats have a wide variety of styles and layouts to suit your needs. See the full line of Sylvan pontoon boats at Bob File Boats and Motors on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee or online at bobfile.com.
It is hazy. It is 82 degrees outside of our studios. It is considerably warmer at this time today than it was yesterday. Yesterday we got to 104, brand new record for August 15th. I think it's pretty much a lead pipe cinch. We're going to break another record today. 3 things to talk about. There's still that excessive heat warning. That continues until 11 o'clock tomorrow. So 2 more days of the hot stuff. And then a fire weather watch kicks in tomorrow afternoon because as this ridge of high pressure begins to shift away, going to allow some cooler and unstable air to come in off Vancouver Island. That's going to kick the winds up a little bit. So we're still going to have quite a bit of heat. We're going to be in triple digits on Thursday, but by Thursday afternoon, the winds will be picking up. Relative humidity is going to drop lower than a gopher's basement. So low relative humidity, strong winds, hot temperatures, yikes. Let's get through Thursday afternoon because then we're going to cool down a little bit. And we have an air quality alert issued by the Department of Ecology. That goes until 9 o'clock on Friday. From the National Weather Service, your forecast high today of 104. That would be a new record. The record high in the state is 103. Overnight low 76, very mild. Now the record high on Thursday is 104. We'll be close to it. And then it's going to be windy, and then we finally cool down. Whew. My air conditioner needs a break, and so do I. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.